Where a different competition to Minka, Sabia Mansiri, J. Carabao, and Intino, Wamuka J. near Canasa Premier League was in your sanitizers and Enra, a Carabao Cup, Anna Diacano, and some a Premier League intended Premier League, any chaka, Yentio Pep on title race.
I would like to have 9 points in front of Arsenal, but I don't know. We changed for the trophy. It'd be 9 points to fight for the Premier League. No, we don't have no impact. Different competitions, and they will be more concerned when they will come to Etihad. I don't know what the situation will happen. That title helped us a lot for the quarterfinals against Liverpool at home. That's for sure. With our people, that today all our side was completely blue. I'm so happy for, of course, to again being together, celebrating that for that game maybe will help us. But the Premier League is in their hands. I think they punish us a lot. It was a 2 periods, like you were incredible, top against Sunderland away. That were a magnificent game we played there. And Chelsea and Brighton at home, these 3 draws, they punish us a lot in terms of points. And this Nottingham Forest, West Ham, the last ones. Maybe we'll regret until the end. But we have 1 game in hand. We have Arsenal at home and 3 points difference plus average. So you see that team is going to drop points. We're going to try to win our games. We won the first, and we see. We'll see what happens.
Yes, I know Kakre free the camp of the Sky Blues of Man City. I swear they bar, and then you may live on the Sporty Drive show. Be my Arsenal team. No, sir. Menoka say boys no free Arsenal. Come national camp no more no. And some I will draw latest. But as a player, you found Martin Odegaard no stay behind to say. Jamison can Odegaard no more chance right after international break. No Arsenal ever ball Southampton a gamer. One more chance Odegaard and so bet me a pia. Ebiam no me just say Barachi Eze. And so I will draw Gabriel Magalhaes, and also I will draw Anna William Saliba, and so I will draw now Julian Timber, one also I will draw Ansana Leandro Trossard, Dominano, and so I will draw the free and your respective national teams. Cecilia Granabasa, I have Brazil for the announcement. Tabasa Gabriel Magalhaes, Aquacopra, and to Brazil for friendly matches. I was a Barcelona, and now yes, Gabriel Betimia game against Croatia. I bought it here. I have the blue of France Internet. I'm Sir Mikel Arteta, and the centre backs. One be stay behind, down on the right back, and so be stay the offensive midfielder, be stay now for Trossard on the left. And some be stay and good news. And so my team now I brother to just say no need to cancel your beer. One of some problem. One of some madu cancel no. Metesa okay so the kind training not training no. One more couple months to game you so pry on here can say we sober reality now. Training grounds on and so Shamadu ka obo gymnast or bandage again in San say. Yabashan enough from our Sabia Brand so very draw their free and national team no broke Drew Camper and almost so Sabia play and bet me up Banaso no and some intimate more young shifty and gear. Now young call a year Tottenham monster Menoka as I say manager fans a go tuto. Now tuto the enemy name Sabia Spass Bessa or Borio Sabia on changing some maybe or be so the team no and some surviving a go tuto no will lose the game and against Nottingham or Tottenham and some lose 3-0 after the game. One more chance I go to the Baba a post match. You understand assistant coach and about I say it go to the Tianya after some will lose game now. I Waba Fiese and Papa and some Adan and Sabin Kumsono and some Yamediana just about Panos Fremo and it go to the year. I just Italian about Panos Amsono and some Atuayan Consiado Brene and some Rosme Finaswede Bar. You understand something now and some Maya for and then you may live for shows on our bra. The good why you didn't come on in and as to say be a Spurs and make it change and I say when we make it change Ubakai or former coach your family team Sherwood okay Sherwood we didn't come on Sky Studios and I show this so Spurs a club on bet me survive it and my interview and it was understand now no ye the Jumana where your Juman ubet me I know so woman mommy and too late to met me my Spurs survive cry it would open Pamon Frenchman more than mom and quality Spurs ever survive it next team Sherwood ever so be on the interim and some Spurs Sarabea one relegate to Yenti Kaka from our coach Tim Sherwood at the Spurs and some at the Tuja.
I don't think it's too late. I think I would keep them in the Premier League. I mean, I believe that someone with common sense keeps them in the Premier League. They have the quality to be able to do it. You have to get them feeling good again. You have to get the confidence in the group. And you don't get confidence by playing Romero. If you're Xabi Simons and you play in Romero as a right winger, and Xabi Simons just had his best game in a Tottenham shirt for against Atletico Madrid, Xabi must be saying, well, what have I done? You're playing someone out of position in my position where I've just played very well. Keep the threats in the team. They have to work hard. They have to still do that. You have to tell them there is duties. There's dirty work to be done. But Kolo Muani played well against Atletico.
Yeah.
Play him. Why is he sitting on the bench? Play the players who you got the threats, but they have to work as a team. Dominic Solanke, Richarlison will run all day for you. They will chase lost causes. You play a little bit more direct. You come forward together and you go back together, but need to organise.
Yes, not just I know a former coach Adam Spurs or reference Tim Sherwood and I'll tell say you're getting something in ano and so Adam Spurs a Jumedia Gusway Dunkumayan say latest I mean say can say Roberto Di Zarbi ano and so a former coach Adam Marcel Timino I was start Laurent Valadron when him said the ban say Di Zarbi so available say bus see I can say almost first from the Jumane man manager say one on some open so baba Jumano on permanent basis. I am a Spurs. I was brano. I am from a deba. Obekai, one former coach Harry Redknapp. Okay na. One on the ten na just a Pavlo Shenko Roman Nomne. I look at Modros Atanko for so and the first one comes well. Was so bad. Panamete say Harry Redknapp no. And somebody at Juman says on the interim on the temporary no. One also Ababa manager until the end of the season. Said a bear. Wabama club and so survive. Omotano Baya grow. You best survive. It got to the Baya Juman. Here many better no not just a championship no and some animal baba called Yamin Second sir would draw Newcastle on sir Newcastle United coach Eddie Howe and also man a strong one in Saudi Arabia for no and some other strong one in Amba now they say me sir yes one also a worried essence Juman one here one about permanent fe one some Ajia Juman Eddie friend in some no I update about Chelsea manager Francelian Rosinho coach you know say yes we was one science tutor and that's why science teacher da unia twere sa na no chese o hwe obi a sha 3 na bonu kwaya pon yo hu ya no so obeda screen so unia fa pe na wa sori agina anya so control no mama e die na wo kwaya wa bra sha mienza bonu kwaya pon yo say Rosinho so dia no Paul Mensen wo kai Promise say onom asem simple kwa no beso obisa na yedin komesa basa bia Liverpool sake manager France and a slot and I say be Eddie Howe Newcastle so pamana anya bia adwuma no wo mo be consider Ayeliam Rosinho aye question an obisa wo de empom anya se empom be consider no wo de obisa won say Liverpool adwuma no be dawo and I say Newcastle adwuma be dawo no ma o we France Ayeliam Rosinho no interview kwa no wo mo consider tia ban say an adwuma to say Chelsea owners and some other panini so mana one also management from a club no aye kakra free o maso de power brown sem nyina no ye de emiete for Enzo Fernandez ekodin komo ema Chelsea last to Chelsea supporters no emu atem obi krase an obekwa won ko Lampard kra no wa ba woko ye hu so penny ade na Enzo se siam no gazai unum sam Argentina camp na omo be ball friendly matches Argentina and some abon Enzo say and komo no kodi ya fa Real Madrid ho among forecast and was one of the ono no nim se bi obeste anaso won stay na or you open so be kono nyina Enzo say enye san na community na ni pa bi na amagye se bi an komo no wo mo som abeso mo sesa no wose no kwa bi anim woni Madrid anim komo da se ne focus no e wo Chelsea aso and on focus on some our matches out do a won be kwa kopo e wo World Cup no ma no che no matches akara Chelsea ho and wo den attention e kwenti Madrid and komo no links aba ni nyina no according to Enzo Fernandez so say no kwa bia nsum anim I know aye kakra fru ode ba Chelsea atro say wo mo se ate say de wo de aye bata efa aye pan no no bra wo boy ya na namusin na che so mo consider no wo mo se Chelsea to concede sam aye ni na efa na okay akwada na efa no say Strahina Pavlovic ono aye center back and some adema Bobo Craig fan say AC Milan obo our left center back wa bra wo bo tere back ko ginam and what you bo e be a double so a chiro so ginam Metesa Strahina Pavlovic no and Chelsea fan na preso mo so abesam amadena bana ubenya Ghana tramamia born papa saying ana obo Ghana to this kan nyina no eye ni ti o ye be no dynity serious wa bra ono a chese wonya call up no Ghana to so dynity and some our salon our born kwariam so fam okra a chese ono sugusu ye nioma ye de update about Manchester team no Michael Carrick da obeda Woman say, young fat mano now on your Jumano on permanent basis. No, only as of now, Metesa, Mayu Fanu, Bianca Sai, Manchester and coach Bian in Comoso, Ebia Carry Cabacon to Babaja Jumania, or more campaign, or more Muruti, and some other Michael Carrick and report. I mean, woman now some say, and Domate and Sunday, Jesse Wilcox, and we'll refer so Mar Barada, Wamu Pshi Sanka Jumanam say, Carrick and Betimia in Tinkabaya, Wamushan Kebia Michael Son Twasuna. 1 year Juman from Manchester, no Kakre Frimo, and some about players on assignment. Woman so Emma Manchester United, no report to me, sir, can say many Janamo days off. Now, days off no more now about call ABA to say, baby, I so could be out between one year, said Dubai, no near day, Catano near the Babia. Also, bet me out questions international break, no more now. So, committee say, Bimo, ever called to Bana, say, I made deal list on no, Omo Quaco to us no more, say, Adiano, and also never see a crown seminal, yet Emma. For player about Manchester Premier and some Ayadam Wharton, and some Ayobio Piana Wharton, yes, I say, Metesa between 50 equity a year 60 million pounds. I know, and some amount of Manchester for the consider woman some other Fakotana, your father's Adam Wharton, and some other Banino, I catch from us way, and some Abba Comco Okaya Kotana, your father Mario Goza. Not 2014 walk out more wire benta nam coach Joachim Low changes was where when a coach we are singing our son in Bono Butcher will be we are by Andrew Shella now Bobby Benkunsu back come you know Jean crossing back could I jump Bono Tono Botswana Argentina one more club lines Panya not tonight and some Akasa Kuran Momo J World Cup sometime and I'm a Tessa Banana standing a contract and some Ayama Eintracht Frankfurt and some Mario Gozadia and some the Fina swear the banana peno and I said then you some I was shown so I think I don't seminal yet Emma yet for camp Kuran Fansa Alfonso Davis Udu Bamunchan Euro Studios now face Sabana Strossa and home Anna Manonoya goalkeeper and Alfonso Davis some and some Aguso Eric our Sabana Strossa. Now Davis American as a metese planning to know say Bamunchin for say someone transfer market nebia offer bi ba so ya bese ya be fa kurande na kwan say Bamunchin for no betimi ya consider metese Manchester United ana just asom na no wom abaso mo cover player ya fa no Alfonso Davis and some adena ba wa brand buy for no so betimi ya ton nyina no and some kakra from aso ya and so nwumre no e wo show no so France and kwada no say producer benya ya o ma right fan bi so dia ma ahwehwe dia bra and kwada no sigaro e so onya skana to si dawie na to kawie na we invest we dia kan dia na be Miyam Pabway, Nentadia Yana, Ravan F. Crackeke, I will shall a bloom Koda Bakla Fontaine and some other Tiki. I arrive Vanna no Shonia Shashe, Michael Lisa Diana, Tetanaka Baka, Togaspa, Michael Lisa Diano, Unia some about boys in the Sour Clefontaine, I just so many else I am Canada and Canada, woman some about Drew Killian in Bapenum, and then Chasa Usman Dembele, woman you know, and so about Drew Blue Clefontaine wa bra, one more pepper. More friend listening and no and some Ababasuna Paris Saint-Germain. Okay, Kaisa Ombabo Chelsea. One weekend game before I get Chelsea midweek, no. Woman mo postpone. Now ball Liverpool na Liverpool game no so no. Sam started by say Paris Saint-Germain they akwa down LFP no a professional football league. Pan fan say woman hwan game o say Liverpool as a team ye fan say PSG ebebo a week before and say be a days before back home ayo mo Tulu. Woman boy we are on PSG and also on Liverpool team no ebe pack the France and Sana. Woman ball loans our way. Normal crack ball our Anfield against Liverpool. Nimi anu na PSG for no be say omo postpone na bomo munya week e dey prepare you say clubs na say omo ntiase hene ha. Na e di kan beto twa so be hia clubs no woman some agreement and Sana e bia sa dana baso bat ye tese mra no e makwan clubs no na be kire say be postpone e game and I say woman postpone latest amenya say PSG for no meeting everybody so meeting no woman schedule almost nyame ya duma ya wada di enemy na e mandate o tenachi na de tie ana meeting beba so na fe ya say bia mpanfo no ebetia se ama PG team no wo mo so apostpone mo game na sasan ana no so besi akọ e wa bra no nyina no nsem no ye de ema ye for and then you may live on the Sporty drive ho nsem no ye de ba quick one mame nko Madrid game no na fe ye na me hwem anyomam so kakra mame Andrew Lunin say one about the first Ukrainian our captain Madrid just what the armband amian sapampe ever since I take Madrid player BNWA one every Ukraine about captain Madrid and Andrew Lunin no and some anababe the first Ukrainian one was armband we game the Heinzen what the JC akoma akoda ketobia one ade ne kan say cardboard about stadium our trust say wo per Heinzen atariam pa one some anakoda no wish no and some abamu Madrid aso obiam latest amenya say Vinicius and them say contract no we benya sign because the ever since from Spain and some komo bi omo dubiano metesa Madrid for no consider Brian say abibia or your franchise player yenyane mane nkokwa yenyane mane nkontiana emsam akoda no renewal no omo say I am more closer than ever I dey onsam no ensom ade ma yete for Valverde card no dey won be so mo kokwa ya appeal no omo say won wo gire say boy no oni Alex Baina obaka na Baina ball ensom ade ma be ya wo ono no nya problem to mo gire ba say no so ana ref ni hwe ya wo fa no say be a hard tackling am or the red card no ensom ade ma Valverde no mo no wo mo no say sankanyo no ana kwe any other player and a yellow card and a Valverde ebeje into Madrid kwakwa appeal no aye kakre from aswoye and some about Brenano pe won some nyina no ye de mama me hanse flick real quick na fe yemra aye studios flick shooting come on Araujo one them no save Barcelona no go no na one ma super Ronaldo Araujo ache no coach say boy no goal shen enra na very important and some ama Catalonia team no ebiem odiri e ba sa go we e be boost boy no confidence level am I right after international break come match sa kan nyina no ama nyama so akọ find ama club ye fan Barcelona yinti coach Hans Flick on Ronaldo Araujo.
He showed stability which was very important for the team, so and also that he scored the goal before I think 2 corners front. He also show how important he is for us in this situation as set pieces, and I'm happy for him because it gives him more confidence and yes, also with the national team now, the 10 days there with them, I think also for him it's good, for every player. I said yesterday, I think for everyone who wants to play in the World Cup for his nation it's important this 10 days, and I think they will come back with a positive mood, with a positive attitude, and yeah, this is what I'm looking forward for after the break. Then we all together and then we fight for our big game.
Yes, we dey na holiday in kakra bia ye nyana fe yen fence na mameto so still live on Sporty 106.1 FM here inside Accra, na fe 102.5 FM inside Takrade Day and 91.3 and so our Ashanti region Kumasi and beyond, and our socials no live on Facebook at Sporty FM Ghana, we live Sporty FM Ghana live so and I make out say live on X and so Sporty FM Ghana live just tune in radio ne babia obebanafi audio messages about WhatsApp line here 0542 571061 0542 571061. Not just also do take and also contribution. Live on the show. My member I remark once again. Felix be cool here. Mike don't even maintenance in yet more. Nice job. Black na BBI find it.
Charlie, the fire you brought into the studio, that set the tone for all of us to sit up today. This is not going to be an ordinary show. It's going to be something different.
That's right. Mike.
So also mean can be an okay. Oh, so it's great. It's great. To what to JV?
Kakra, so we not Gary, so we need to be at me. And a 50 bands in a kunya until we are no wine.
Yeah, Nyako,
Nyako, Bana, Bua, and I make
The rest one will come what is super
legend Bebana Kunya Bua day. There was a maybe crack. So Felix, my shots in through and entrance and baby so Fabia. And any can share Arsenal Modian will take Sabia Behadrian, the baby.
Arsenal isn't it no meaning. I honestly and now I think say a lot of us were thinking say we share momentum Arsenal for particularly in the Champions League and the domestic cup and even in the Premier League they were favourites going into that particular game.
That's right.
Yesterday, but then again I think it was a game of two halves. But City really upped the game in the second half. I sometimes mean coaches are sick, but you know there are moments you need to understand them, and it'll start from the goalkeeping situation. Oshe Kepa, I'm sure a lot of the Arsenal fans were not happy. Say Kepa had to start a final game, especially when it is the first trophy available to pick. You know, in the season against a team only compete for the league. It is psychologically whoever gets to win the Carabao Cup yesterday, my guess, slight psychological advantage going into the remaining games of the Premier League, especially when the two teams would again face each other in the league. And Tina, everybody was expecting say Arsenal will put up their best starting 11, but you got to also understand Arteta and the fact say Kepa above Carabao Cup from the start of the season. Yeah. Until you do finals, you also don't want to kill the morale of the goalkeeper. So why don't you still maintain him? But Obisu of the opinion said this is a goalkeeper that has been in the finals of the Carabao Cup twice again for Chelsea, and it didn't go well. Ukaya, I think one of the instances now, Mauricio Sarri, substitute or see Debbie on your then own film, and then I think again against Liverpool, Okobo penalty sooner then. And essentially, we shall know ni Wembley appearance in Carabao finals, and share that and a lot of people were thinking, so why don't you let the best goalkeeper in the league, the best goalkeeper at the club, start the game? But aside that, it was just a one-off incident or a mistake. Emma Arsenal for a conceded the first goal, but proud to the goal, City were putting a lot of pressure on the Arsenal team. And I don't think anybody was surprised Arsenal for a concede and then went on to lose the game. I think for City they'll be very, very excited. At least on when himself one trophy that is available within the course of the season. I don't think they'll be very Pep and his team will be very disappointed. So when team win league, no FA Cup. And in fact they get to play Arsenal again, right? In the FA Cup semi-finals. That will be at the same venue. They will surely have the psychological edge going into that game. But for Arsenal fans, I cover 3 trophies. They can still do the treble. But losing a final at this time of the season psychologically can break down the team. And I won't be surprised if it is one of the reasons in Tina, some of our players now are from for international collapse, air pull out. Aside that, probably a lot of games, and they might also want to need some rest because after international break, we ain't got break BRBM. We are going for the final lap. Into Honum now, OG Champions League, OG League now. You have to play your cards well. But I think overall, City will be very delighted. Say, Omutimi winning another game, and clearly they played better than Arsenal, especially in the second half. And I'm sure they'll be very, very happy. Say, an academy player who stays, I think, 2 miles away from the Etihad Stadium. Your friend in class said, getting the 2 goals in that particular game. So it's quite good. Of all the amount of money and was spending on players now, it took an academy player to score a brace in the final against the best team currently in Europe at Wembley. It's a magnificent story for them, and I think they deserve it. But for Arteta, I don't think all hope is lost. You still have 3 games, 3 competition to play in, but it will be a total failure and disaster if Arsenal should end the season trophyless. I don't think say me Arsenal fan, I'll be very, very disappointed. You know, we've gone through, Arsenal fan, you've gone through series of disappointment in the past. But baby Arsenal for a draw, quarterfinals of the Champions League, you have a 7 points gap, if I'm right, in the league. 9
for now.
9 with 7 games to go. You are in the semi-finals of the FA Cup. You go to the finals of the League Cup. You can't end the season without a trophy. That would be a total failure. And I don't know how the big men at Arsenal will handle it. If say when Timmy Winishi, looking at the amount of money and time Arteta spend there, I'll be surprised if when Timmy Winishi, he will still be available to coach Arsenal next season.
Wow. International break, no, don't you think say be about the right time? Psychologically, be on Bekwabana or almost refresh your mind.
I think, sir, based on the fact someone losing and not final, no, the break will be good for them. Probably if they had won it, they would have wanted to keep the momentum going. But we'll losing final, no, Charlie. Guys, just go on a break and come back. But in all, a lot of people have been complaining, say, oh, Arsenal 4 too defensive. When Arsenal is playing, especially in the league games, I see a team that has a little bit of fear in them. Either they don't want to concede, they want to be very pragmatic. And yesterday, that's exactly what they did.
That's right.
You understand? I don't care about the type of games or type of football or league, because we've gotten to the 10 of the season now. Charlie, fanciful football, to say fancy Di Maria Dino. There's nothing. The only say when you 3 points. And to when you corner, not now they are 3 points. That is because if we end the season, Arsenal G League, nobody will remember how they won the league. The only thing I say or the point saying, and then we need the number of corner kicks are on the G League. No, that is the fact. We share a local league. Hearts of Oak have considered 9 goals in 26 matches. That is impressive. But they are the second least scoring team in the league. You understand? And however you do it, so far as you're able to get the ultimate, which is the league title, it is. But I think, say, international break, looking at yesterday's results, it came at the right time for Arteta and his boys. They need to, relax. And I'm sure, say, almost 50% of the Arsenal players who turn up for international games now are available. No, they will really want to. And I'm sure, so Omukokra, most of their national team coaches won't even use them like they would, because there will be a communication between Arsenal and the various national teams. Say, Charlie, we are in for a title run, both in the league and especially in the Champions League, a trophy we've never won before. And Timosumu Boye, Namu manage your players, and I'm sure for some of the players that are even withdrawing from the collapse, there's been a communication with the national teams to catch up and say, Charlie, fatigue, they need rest, and the power to because players by any bills because if a player goes on international assignment, no prayer or back to club. And sometimes you also need to be a bit understanding in situations like this. So it's a good time for Arsenal players to go on that particular break and re-energize and come back and fight for the remaining 3 trophies available.
Okay, so I'll still live on the Sporty Drive Holidays Edition, live on 106.1 FM, also 102.5 Takrade, 91.3 FM Kumasi. Socials no, may ban a black or quick, but WhatsApp message no they ban Mr. Royan the location no, and so as so a day a may mose messages no flare and flare. Remember the king can be a moment to be a black. My memory on my nafe into.
Well, you see the Arsenal thing. First and foremost, let me speak about Mikel Arteta before I come to the game itself. Personally, if you ask me, I'll say Arteta has not been pragmatic enough in terms of his approach to this particular final yesterday.
Wow.
In 6 years, with all the investments you've done, the most important thing is to break the trophy drought curse, which will serve as the floodgates or template on which the club can build successive trophy-laden era. We saw Pep Guardiola when he took over Manchester City from Pellegrini. It's Pellegrini, right? The very first season, he went trophyless. Then he came back. The first trophy he won was the Carabao Cup. After that, we saw what he did. Jose Mourinho. We saw him when he took over Chelsea. The first trophy he won was the Carabao Cup. Then from there, they now can believe that we can play all the big games and win. The biggest problem for Arsenal from 2020 is to how they'll start winning trophies. Arsenal in the past 3 seasons have finished second, third. So you just need one step further. And for you to start winning, and sometimes the players need to feel how the buzz, that feeling you get when you win a major trophy.
That only spurs you up.
It spurs you up. The way the fans will react, the way they celebrate it, it pumps up the adrenaline in you to go and fight for more. But for Mikel Arteta, yesterday, the decision to start Kepa Arrizabalaga in post was a disaster on his part. I've always been saying this. We will talk much about Declan Rice. He deserves all the accolades and the plaudits that he gets. He plays very good, slick on the eye, free-flowing attacking football, defense splitting passes into the attacking channels. Defensive-wise, he's like a metal in central midfield for Arsenal. You look at Zubimendi, but the kind of job that Declan Rice does in central midfield, he's the main anchor. He's the fulcrum around which Arsenal revolves over the course of 90 minutes. But I've always said this, that Arsenal's best player and the most important player for Arsenal is the goalkeeper, David Raya.
Yeah.
If you look through the league matches that Arsenal have played this season, David Raya single-handedly has won no less than 15 to 18 points with his saves for Arsenal in the matches. Because some of the saves that he pulls, at that time, Arsenal will be leading 1-0 or 2-1. The saves you pull, you'll be like, you'll be so surprised about the quality of the save. Sometimes point-blank double saves. Mm-hmm. You ask yourself, had it not been that Arsenal has a quality goalkeeper, they would have been drawing some of the games that they've won 2-1 or 1-0. I'm telling you.
Their best player by far this season.
But the best player and the most important player for Arsenal this season is David Raya. Yesterday, it showed clearly.
I don't think any team has won the league without an excellent goalkeeper.
Very good. I was about to come and talk about that. See, you look at Manchester, when they were bossing the league in the 1990s and the early 2000s, it was Peter Schmeichel. When Manchester bounced back and they were doing... You see, when he left, there was a certain Bates, there was a certain... I've forgotten the name. Carol. They were all over the place. Manchester were struggling.
Even when they were struggling, they have a certain De Gea, who was even winning player of the
season for them.
For United.
When United came back into the limelight and were bossing, they came back to the top of the pinnacle of English football. It was Edwin van der Sar. When Chelsea... were there, no one can call. It was Peter Cech. To some extent, Thibaut Courtois. When Courtois left, we saw Kepa. After Kepa, look at the amount of money they invested into this Kepa. When Madrid were on top of top, they had a certain Ike Casillas.
Yes.
Together with the other goalkeeper that came to take Casillas' position.
Yeah.
The one from Costa Rica.
Yeah.
Keylor Navas. So sometimes
even Courtois, and in fact, Courtois
won them the Champions League against Liverpool in Paris.
Yes,
because he pulled off point-blank saves, like about 6 in that game, world-class saves. Mane, Salah. You know, so sometimes there are certain positions that you don't tinker with, you don't joke with, you don't play with it. The decision to start Kepa in that game cost Arsenal because the kind of comic errors that he pulled out yesterday, never. It can happen to Raya, but Raya is top for us to see something. And in the big games, Felix, the most important thing is the first goal.
True.
The timing of the first goal is very crucial in those in the big games. When Manchester City scored, Arsenal had to gamble. And the more you gamble, the more you leave spaces and the loopholes. And City, together with Pep Guardiola, have world-class players that can pick you up at premium and punish you in the faces of the game. You look, Antoine Semenyo, caused problems to Hincapié and made him look ordinary. Hincapié, who has been who has relegated Calafiori to the bench. Miles Lewis Skelly, who was Arsenal's darling boy, can't even have a sniff into the starting 11 anymore. But the moment they committed him, he took the caution. He was scared to gamble, to go to lunge into tackles, because that can result in the second bookable offense and a sending off. So Antoine Semenyo used that. Anytime he had the ball, he was running at him, trying to get him to foul him and get him out. So you see some of the players, Kai Havertz.
You're an Arsenal fan.
I'm coming. Kai Havertz. You see, some of the players can never help Arsenal. And Arteta got to understand that. Players like Kai Havertz, players like Gabriel Jesus, players like Martinelli, I will cut him some slack in the faces of the game. Sometimes he comes and does something spectacular. And sometimes you just come and kill you off completely. I am saying this. If Arsenal will win the major trophies, Arteta should keep playing our top marksman. He should stop playing with. He spent and invested into him. In our last league game that we won, that Max Daumann scored the second goal. It was a typical centre forward goal that he scored. If it's a winger, see, a typical centre forward. There's a difference between a winger scoring goals and a centre forward. The centre forward will be at the right place at the right time to poke home or pounce on the loose balls. And we've seen countless times goalkeepers spill ball into the box and there's no one to pass. But look at Gyökeres. Right place at the right time to score for Arsenal. Before even Max Daumann came to score for us to win the game. So, for me, I feel Arsenal, where we are right now, it's a problem losing this trophy. It can eat into the emotions and psychology of the players. It depends on how they will bounce back.
Okay.
If they don't bounce back instantly, then we go back to the old Arsenal feeling among the fan base.
Wow.
Skepticism sets in, doubt sets in. In terms of how will I say this thing, what's the name? The motivation. Players will begin to dip in form because they will start going through the emotional barrier. And it will be a problem. And the biggest problem for Arsenal Football Club is Arteta. Because the fear of losing games has been his biggest problem. He goes into games, has the players to go and attack the game on the front foot to win. You go and be conservative. Low block, mid block. Against Manchester City, there is no need approaching the game. He approached that game in the second half. Guardiola is a smart guy. He saw the writing on the wall. He saw the Arsenal were wobbling. So he had to come out gun blazing on all cylinders in the second half. And it paid off to premium effects. For me, Arteta can't fail to deliver this season. Arsenal does not need an FA Cup. Arsenal need a Champions League or an English Premier League title. Anything apart from that is the biggest failure in the history of Arsenal Football Club. And let me tell you, me as an Arsenal fan, Arsenal won the league last time in 2004. I was in the secondary school in Kpando at Bishop Herman.
2 years ago.
I never watched it on live TV. I'm not sure my good friend Kevin here sitting with me has seen Arsenal lifting the English Premier League title on live TV like the way we are watching. We've not. So if we speak with, sometimes people say we speak with emotions. We speak with pains. Gary Al Smith, the big man, is an Arsenal fan. 22 years. It's not a kid's play. They've taken away the youthful part of our life from us. I'm telling you. No, wow. it is a fact.
The man is getting
no, it's not emotional. No, Fancy. No, Fancy. It's a fact.
I understand.
If as of today, I will be 38, 39, 40 years. Other Arsenal fans will be 38, 39, 40 years. Okay? Take 22 years out of it and tell me what I'm saying. I'm lying. They've taken.
It's true when you school that time.
I have the same feelings when it comes to the Blasters.
They've taken the most youthful part of you away. So for 22 good years, we've been doing blind arguments, trying to make our club stay relevant in the faces of Chelsea, Man City, Manchester United, Barcelona, Real Madrid, Inter Milan, AC Milan. All these clubs have their down moment, but whenever they bounce back and get to the top of the football in England, Spain, they dominate it for some time. We've all seen how Madrid, after winning their 9th UCL, suffered to even win the La Decima. But the moment they broke that curse, they went on a rampage winning spree. When will Arsenal season come? If Arteta fails to deliver either the Champions League or the FA Cup, Fancy Di Maria, he will be the biggest disappointment in the history of Arsenal because he has overspent more than all the managers.
Okay.
He has been given in the modern era. if Arteta happens to be the coach of any elite football club in Europe, he would not have been at the helm of affairs coaching the club. They would have fired him. Arteta had a position when Thomas Tuchel won the Champions League and the club walked out for Chelsea. He lost his job. So what is it? Enough of this. We need the trophies. That is all I can say.
Wow. League.
Any of the two.
Any of the two.
Any.
What if it's the FA Cup?
I don't want the FA Cup. He should walk through the door. He should walk out of the door and
So
go.
if you are giving up the Champions League or the Premier League, which one are you taking?
I would take the Champions League.
Okay.
You don't want the FA Cup.
I don't want the FA Cup.
Then it means
If we say,
Carabao
listen,
Cup.
let me tell you this. If we Arsenal fans said enough of Arsene Wenger, he should walk out. Okay? If Arsene Wenger should walk out, prior to he leaving Arsenal,
Yeah, do we winning the FA Cup?
he won the FA Cup 3 times or 4 times in about 6 years. Okay? So, if we say he's not good enough, what has Arteta done that Arsene Wenger hasn't done? The FA Cup or the Community Shield. He has won it for us countless times in the last 6 years. We booted him out. We said enough of the FA Cups. Thank you. He built us a home called the Emirates. What is Arteta doing? If he can't deliver after spending 1 billion, in excess of 1 billion, he should walk out of the door and let's find someone else to come and continue the job for us. I would prefer Cesc Fabregas to finish second, third in the league in the first 2 seasons. I will not even cough a word than to have Arteta go into his 7th or 8th season battling to win a major trophy. 6 years. It is 6 years,
especially when
with consistent investment.
Other competitors have also, haven't really improved. You understand? United are not where they are. Liverpool as defending champions have struggled. City have been inconsistent. Charlie, this time if you don't win the league, you're on your own.
Whoa. Okay, so still live on the Sporty Drive. Holidays edition 106.1 FM here in Accra, 91.3 in Kumasi, and also 102.5 FM in Takrade. We've been joined by Kelvin. Kelvin, my memory on Menafi. I found about the also.
That's not fun. That's not fun.
That's not fun. Black Start here the tune is out come no.
Well, Fancy, never be brace, Arteta appointment, fine. Obai, and he started very well. He started to win. That was the FA Cup. But, winning Community Shield. But someone would tell you it was all boiled down to the brilliance and ingenuity of certain players.
Yes.
Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. And those players who were mature enough, they just needed a manager who could understand them and guide them. Alexandre Lacazette. So he had them, Granit Xhaka, with that experience, top-level footballers who had seen it all. Arteta comes in year out. He's getting these guys out of his team, bringing his own materials, telling us he's given Arsenal a new face.
Yes.
That is brilliant. He's given Arsenal a new face, new identity with new boys, the likes of Odegaard, Bukayo Saka, and the rest, Julian Timber, the likes William Saliba, Gabriel, they've all come in. But where is that intent to fight against the big teams when you're playing? And the signs of retrogression has showed clearly that this is not a manager who would be at the top. In the last 2 seasons, I have been against him. I always say that Arteta is not the man to win big trophies for us now. He may be lucky this season because the other competitors have been piss poor, including Arsenal. The form of Arsenal last season and even 2 seasons ago isn't the form they are showing now. Last season, Arsenal were more progressive, constructive football than this season. This season, they are pessimists. They don't even advance properly into the opponent's half unless they are on the back foot. That is when they open up to play. But that is not the sign of a good team if you want to consistently take the game to opponents. Now go back and look at the top matches Arsenal has played against domestic football this season. Chelsea, it had to take a gamble, 1-0, 2-1, 3-2. Exactly, because Chelsea are terrible. Fine, you give them that victory.
Okay.
They haven't won against Manchester City in the 2 games that they played. One in the league and then the Carabao Cup final. Look at Liverpool. Liverpool are terrible. Teams take the game to Liverpool and their defense is in total disarray. Look at Konate this season. I tell you, I'll give Yes, I'll give Konate and Van Dijk someone.
So it means Arsenal has not scored a league goal against Liverpool.
Exactly, yes, this season. No, it was Dominic Szoboszlai who scored, and then it was goalless.
Wow.
Just look at the team. Look at Manchester United. United in their worst form came to the Emirates and beat
Arsenal to
exactly. They beat Arsenal. Spurs are just piss poor from last season. They are the only team Arsenal has managed to get results out from the big boys in the league from last season. What does this tell of the manager that Arsenal have? And it's not like he's having a commanding, a domineering sporting director. Arteta has lots of control like Pep Guardiola has at Manchester City. He makes decisions. He calls the shots. Exactly. It was the reason why Edu left. Andrea Beta had to fight him to get Gyökeres because Arteta wanted to bring Benjamin Šeško. If you have all the materials that you want, and we are not seeing any signs of progression, how would you tell me that Pep Guardiola sees Nico O'Reilly performing well? Oscar Bob, by his injury, was integral in Pep Guardiola's team from last season, and this season you could see the signs. But ask yourself, is it the same thing with Arsenal and the young boys who have been playing for Arsenal? Where is that development of Gabriel Martinelli? Why is it that Miles Lewis Kelly, who at a point got into the English national team to play as a left back, why is he struggling to even make it into this team? Why is it that all of a sudden Martin Zubimendi, the Zubimendi we saw in the Euros final against semis and the final against France and that messing teams up, why is he now shy to come out for balls? Why is he not being constructive as before? So this is a manager who has failed to realize what he has and how devastating his team can be. What Pep Guardiola did yesterday was just read the mind of Arteta. Realize that the second half he was going to set back. What do? There is no threat from Bukayo Saka or Nico O'Reilly. O'Reilly, step into that midfield. Let's push them up. Kepa is not as brilliant and intelligent and skillful as David Raya to be given the passes to, in between the lines for Saka, Ben White, and the others to pick up. And that was it. He shut the shops, used Jeremy Doku, and then Antoine Semenyo, and Bernardo Silva dropping deep because Arsenal were not having the ball. What Rodri did was just to sit. He just didn't care because Arsenal were no threat. Look at Kai Havertz. And any manager who sees a team and players struggling would make changes, would make alterations to his team. I don't know any coach in the world, especially now that we have 5 substitutes to make. You have your left back on a yellow card playing against one of the informed wingers and forwards across Europe, not even just in the Premier League. Antoine Semenyo is having a form of his life from Brentford to Manchester City. It's continued. He's appreciating. When Hinkapie is on a yellow card and he's backing off challenges, what do? You have able men on the bench. Bring them on so you don't have issues because the game is goalless. It's not that you were leading by a goal to nil and then you would have to sit back. It's goalless, so it means the opponent has an opportunity. Even when you are leading and your left back is on a yellow card, make that alteration. Nobody says Bukayo Saka is in 400k. He's the deputy captain of the team. So when he's failing to have a good game, you cannot change him. It doesn't happen anywhere. Those are the simple things that the big coaches do to win games. Just look at Michael Carey. When Mbeumo is not performing, when Ahmad is failing, when Cunha is failing, Cunha sat on the bench for a couple of games until he started making impact. And Arteta himself has realized that it works for players. When Eze failed to sign in the opening weeks for Arsenal,
he sat out for about 4
exactly
games in a row.
He benched him, and when he started picking up the pieces, he just realized, yes, let me play him, and he got the result. Arsenal have been just lateral, and this season, any good manager, and I say it, there are times Kawa even says it, if Bashir Hayford is even playing against Arsenal, he'll get to know what to do. And I always say it, all you need to do is to cut the supplies to the flanks, because Arsenal will play lateral, they won't go linear. And for teams, if you want to score, if you want to get the best out of your lead marksman, you go direct through the middle. Bayern Munich don't pick up the ball and will be looking to the flanks for Diaz. They look at Harry Kane. If Kane wants, then he sends it down to the flanks, and then he waits for the deliveries. But Arsenal, Bukayo Saka, he will play with Dazzle with the ball, left, right, corner kick, throw in, or he will lose. And that clearly shows that Arsenal is not progressing. Nobody says Max Doman is old enough, but he's ready to play at least 30 minutes, 40 minutes, or 45 minutes of crucial games because he showed glimpses of the quality that he has.
Everton.
Exactly. And even in previous games, look at how Lamine Yamal came onto the scene.
Age 15.
Thank you.
Going on 16.
Thank you. And he was mesmerizing teams. Look at the European Championship. He told France, he told Rabiot, yes, I came for you. And he actually messed up the French team. That was at the biggest stage. And you can't tell me that a young boy playing in England, a London boy playing at Wembley, played for Arsenal a week before, he had boomed his confidence by providing the pre-assist and then the winning goal. The icing on the cake for Arsenal against Everton, a very tight game. And you look at the Arsenal team, and not many players have that ability to open up spaces. So when you are struggling and you don't have Eze, you don't have Martin Odegaard, why can't you trust these boys? Miles Lewis-Kelly, who is an adept central midfielder. You speak to Partey, who will tell you, when the Arsenal fans visited him, the last time the Black Stars played at Alisa, he said, in the team, aside him, the only player who can play and play like him, open up spaces in channels, is that young boy. And he showed it, yes, he showed it in his early years. So if Manchester City is trusting O'Reilly, Oscar Bob, and other players to play and perform well, if Alvaro Arbeloa, with all the Real Madrid pressure, is putting Pitach to mess up Manchester City, and look at how dazzling he was yesterday in the Madrid derby. Arteta cannot tell us he cannot use Max Stoneman to give Manchester City and Pep Guardiola headaches. Nathan Ake and then Kushanov.
As Arteta is learning from Anna Slot.
Yes.
With Rowan Gumoa.
Aha. You get it. And it's quite surprising. So for me, I've said it countless times. Maybe he may win the league because, it's dicey. The gap is good enough. Pep Guardiola has games which are much more tricky. All he will need to do is to go to the Etihad and not lose the game. Because if Pep wins his outstanding, it cuts the points down to 6.
If he beats Arsenal to 3.
In the league,
Yes.
City have been very inconsistent.
Yes, they've been inconsistent, but they have hit a momentum.
Has a way of finishing their last 6-7 matches top. That's how come they've always managed to dethrone Liverpool, dethrone Arsenal under Pep Guardiola. They have that mental edge. Like you were saying, I don't mean to cut him. Arsenal has 9 points. If City wins the outstanding match, it drops down to 6. If City should beat Arsenal at the Etihad, it gets down to 3. You don't trust Arteta and Arsenal with 3 points. They can even mess up 2 extra games that they will win, and just like against Brentford and against Wolves.
City win.
Well, that is the thing.
That is this City team is not convincing.
I think after the international break, City plays Chelsea, right?
Yeah.
In as much as Chelsea have been very awful,
City have.
at the bridge, Chelsea can easily get points.
Yeah, they can draw the game.
They can get points.
And trust you me,
Rosinho.
Oh, no.
Rosinha is bad, but I see Rosinha is terrible. But it's terrible. But the game would not be easy.
Yes.
Because Chelsea's attack offers lots of problems than
They will create chances.
what Arsenal's attack would give to opponents.
Chelsea's problem is the back line.
So that is you just said it.
But there are some games it won't be about the coaches.
It will be about the players' mental fortitude and how they turn up.
Chelsea is also in a bad situation because they want to qualify for the Champions League.
So that's
it's
an added
getting a
incentive.
bit dicey there. Now, just to end things up. Now, what gets to City's advantage after the international break? They play the league. Arsenal gets into the Champions League against Sporting Club Portugal. If they don't get a favorable result, that will be on the back of their minds. And that weekend, they play against Manchester City. So Arsenal need to be up psychologically. Obviously, some of the players who are going on the international break, we know that Arteta, some of them have started dropping out. Saliba, Gabriel, Eze, Odegaard, Timber, all those guys are not going. But there are some who would go and may not return fully fit. Trust me, Declan Rice.
We beg God.
I am. He's tired. You clearly see it in him. He's tired. And if you're a coach and you buy players and you cannot use them, you cannot trust them in games. What was the need in going to get Christian Norgard and bringing him to the team when you did not trust him? Look at the bench of Pep Guardiola yesterday. Tijani Reynolds will start at Arsenal. Yes, if he's there, Arteta won't play Kai Havertz in the number 10 role.
You should stop
You
this Kai
get it?
Havertz thing.
Yeah,
Firstly,
Arteta.
you should stop the Kai Havertz. See, there are some players, as an Arsenal fan, the moment you see them, you see doom. See, in the faces of the game, Samuel, premium chances in the big game sometimes come first phase, second phase, shuts down completely.
Yeah.
If you don't maximize them, your opponent will get theirs, and when they convert, it becomes a problem. Before Manchester City broke the deadlock, Arsenal had their moments. Kai Havertz, chief culprit. It will come back to haunt you. This is football.
And that is why I'm saying Arteta does not have the men.
Thank you, Chelsea, for
the men who would take the game up themselves. In Wenger's difficult moments in the FA Cup, Santi Cazorla and the likes were just Aaron Ramsey. Look at this Arsenal team. Who pops up in difficulty?
So can we then question the investment into the playing body?
I still have an issue. Yes, I still have an issue.
But we can't actually.
If you are keeping wingers like Martinelli, Trossard for 4 seasons who are not giving you proper returns, and Bayern Munich with all the proper returns they get from wingers are investing in Olise, getting Luis Diaz. It clearly tells you where your team is. Real Madrid, with all the quality they have, consistently are trying to get the best available material. Look at Manchester City. We're not getting, goals all across. But look at their investment.
Because the investment in Kai Havertz, for instance, it was good money.
That's why Chelsea took the money.
Too much money from Arsenal.
Yes.
So could it have been invested into another player?
See,
Thank you.
The thing is,
Look at the amount.
I'm coming, Kevin.
At the amount Manchester City bought Ryan Cherki with. You tell me they couldn't have invested in Cherki instead of Madueke.
Let's look at
Cherki would have given you better results.
The money could have even brought Antoine Semenyo.
See,
Exactly.
the 5 of us in this studio, okay? The 5 of us in this studio, the last 4-5 years, Mikel Arteta, the coach of Arsenal London, told the entire world that Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, he doesn't need him.
True.
Which of the Arsenal strikers had goals more than Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang when he left to France, left to Al Qadsiya, and came back to Marseille? How many? The decision by Arteta to touch Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang in particular, and I'm saying this, the 2 seasons that Arsenal finished second, if Arsenal had Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang with the caliber of ball they played up front, Arsenal would have walked away with the league by
Francis, don't you believe that it wasn't for footballing reasons?
Sometimes, I'm coming. Sometimes, Samuel, sometimes, as a manager, you've got to manage situations to get results. We look at Wayne Rooney. He even gave Alex Ferguson a transfer request. Ferguson managed the situation. Peter Schmeichel, he had altercations one-on-one. Hell abusive ways. Even they had to be separated. Ferguson managed the situation. Carlos Tevez, Manchester City, Mancini and him. He managed the situation. They managed to win. Sometimes ego doesn't play football. We've seen Pep Guardiola and Kun Sergio Aguero being separated by Mikel Arteta on touchlines countless times. Yes. Sometimes you have to play you have to just be soft a little,
Francis,
and give rooms to certain things.
This one I will speak to you. say wo you kind of saying we janka or trainers we janka. Now this is a control football trainer. Ubetumi asa obia kwanta so. Yes. Ba odu coach amansa kwanta so a.
Please explain.
And yeah,
but this is elective trade.
You get it? What? I said I know say Osia obia obe defend na pine. No akone. What could share our boss? No master, we ready wide on a chair with you. A human when you cry now, exactly. Only more ye into oh, yeah, dear. No idea, obia ya or timid shower boss. Now, the also my mental. Obeba oba no maboys in echi o boys in hwan echi no wakwa akoje sa
no saka no dali no
no nti I me hu say e ade a onsuan ye onsuan do that level he can call himself a top class or a top level manager, and meaning say we a good coach no we a good coach we a good coach we a good manager. Players freedom to do whatever they want. But at Arsenal, there is so much limitation.
Restrictions.
So much limitation to their play.
You can't tell
and Unya the best out of the materials.
Service under Pep Now about Arsenal for how many years now?
6.
And you say untimi you matured. You are not matured up until
Enzo Maresca, who went to learn after Arteta and the Pep came to win the FIFA World Cup.
Felix,
He won the FIFA Club World Cup.
There course be wo honoma ko square no kwa de. But and no kwa de wo be feel.
Arteta
And only Arteta problem now. Ontimi ya then. Just look at Arsenal omo assistant coaches no
Not to cut- let me tell
just when they went the guy no call Carlos Cuesta and then Mehmet Ali just when they left because they were seen as the offensive brains for Arsenal. Omuko ya Arteta replace you why not go find the
Gabriel Henze.
Thank you.
Defensive.
So now it's more defensive and someone unim Gabriel Henza or you very like superstitious.
Yes.
Yeah. Or you're superstitious. Into never be how and Arteta man respect so much. If you've what the Arteta interviews about ex-players, former players, he holds him so high.
Fancy.
And it's a problem at AC. It is a Arteta nankasa if he's not willing, onye na adwen say obey evolve as a manager. With materials no one. Arsenal materials. Quote when are the Arsenal materials we be mana or bet not deep say I am sitting deep. I won't be
There's
exposed.
no problem. Fancy no problem.
Okay.
Problem there.
Matana say for some film no say one of the reason the English culture in Mikel Arteta. In as much as Spanish, he's more English. Because coaches are caught under Pepper.
Yes.
Maresca played in Italy, played in
Spain, yeah.
coach in England in the championship,
Yeah.
and even worked under Pep. And so on your various variety of you can say coaches
Different
from
culture,
different.
yeah.
But Michaela,
Most of his years.
Arsenal,
Typical British
Everton,
style.
Premier League.
Rangers
And
in Britain, yeah. Kick and run.
An English,
Kick and run.
English coach.
Yeah.
So you can see, say most of his tactics are more English based
Yeah.
than maybe you see from a typical German
Or Spanish mentality.
You understand?
So the English curse is following him. No.
No, but let me play the devil's advocate here.
Before remember on my main show, I'm for wake real quick now. Still live on the Sporty Drive Holidays edition. So a couple of messages flooding in WhatsApp line of 0542 571061. This one says, my name is Richmond Dumfo. From Bonfa, update on Barcelona. Rich, I'm say, hello, boss man. Your boy, man, Freshie from Kasua during during the listening. My boss Piqué, and also the buy. This guy is on fire. He's currently the Ghanaian Peter Drury. Whether you like it or not, he's the best when it comes to foreign news updates from Kumasi, the nation's capital. It's a big blow and a sign of victory for you, Mr. Fancy. The yellow designated shirt on him speak for itself. Fancy to the word. Justinovich and a day and so the buy. And that's the way I say, Fancy, I need Francis Mares WhatsApp link, please. Okay, Fancy, please. Are you at Kumasi or Accra hosting a program? You want crying about Kumasi live on 91.3 FM na Fita Kwade phone so 102.5 FM. We say hello Francis, your boy man fresh. I think I've read this one. Good evening Francis. I'm enjoying the show live inside Kintampo. Check Kintampo phone na Kintampo kwan so be BM say ura Kintampo dey asana akotechima na wo TSC wenchine awisan wase Botari Subins number 1 number 2 no me ade ho nyina so far. Well, good evening Francis. Happy to see you here too. I'm very confident Madrid will win the UEFA Champions League this season. Oscar from Satellite and Dubai. Another one says, Fancy, good evening. You left us unexpectedly. I will always miss your jokes and your presentations. I'm Kwame Tonado inside Seri Abra. Everyone, I just got video. Everybody enjoy crowd. Well, good evening, Sportsgod and your sports crew. I'm Williams Kade Jr. listening to live from our commandant Mofa. Our commandant's name say you crying so okay, touch my crying so I don't be asked Mike. I feel my memory.
Let me play the devil's advocate here. Are we not overreacting?
Say
They lost the game and they've lost the cup. But don't be saying fan say of the 4 available trophies, which one they can afford to dish out to City. I think it will be the Carabao Cup.
As fans, we want to win everything available.
You know, that is something that hasn't been done.
And the first one is
And
the
to
most
do it,
important thing.
You need the most complete team or the perfect team to do that. Even Pep's team that was blasting aside opponents with cheeky ease, they've not won the quadruple. The best was the treble. They did a domestic treble, and then they did a complete treble in Europe, and then also on the domestic front. So, if you ask any Arsenal fan, trophy bear na mo person mu jemua, I think the answer they will give is the Carabao Cup. You get it? So I believe that it is the reaction, the response they give to this defeat. It is what matters most, not what transpired in the game. It is a game, and anything can happen. Like we saw from Pep, the first leg against Real Madrid.
Chelsea for me.
No, I'm coming. The first leg against Real Madrid. Look at his setup. All of us condemned him for that. You cannot play Doku, you cannot play Savinho. And then Semenyo.
Yeah.
He's made changes, and that the evidence or the answer is what we saw yesterday. Cherki, Semenyo, Doku. So
Different
coaches find solutions, especially when they encounter challenges.
Arteta did
So
the
it
same.
is appropriate that Arsenal encounter this challenge at this point in time because there's a hiatus. They are going for an international break. Now, when they return, they would have been able to work on some one or two things. Don't you see a certain strategy? Arsenal players withdrawing from the international assignment.
Sporty FM.
There is a purpose behind it.
It's panic. They are panicking.
Now, Michael, another person can interpret that as panicking.
Michael, answer na.
Rest.
Michael, answer na we nyina esi no.
Yeah.
Match near here, and you say Arsenal boy na Pep Guardiola mo, they were overly dominant.
In the first half, it was
Arsenal
all
came
about
to the game not to play in the second half.
So the evidence is
And you
conservative.
can't tell me that the manager struggled to find solutions.
so-
it is different.
so do
it
they
is
need-
different from Mata. You said that ball, your ball when say, oh, you be in where do you show zero from start to
okay,
finish?
so Kevin, do Arsenal need a change in their approach?
Yes.
So will they
Memaka-
get a break to do that?
Manager
And again, let me tell you,
Do you know that?
When top level club will allow Arteta this luxury.
That's what I said that in my song.
But
See, let me
Arsenal is
tell
not a
you.
top club.
It's a,
Oh, Michael, 7 hours on
Arsenal
here.
isn't a top club.
allow him. We will take that from him. Don't worry. We will take that from him.
No top club goes for
We
20
will be
years
back at
without
the
winning a league title.
Thank you. Thank you.
Now Chelsea now answer number 8.
Chelsea is not top club.
Chelsea is top club.
Chelsea is not top. No, by
Yes, sir. The top clubs to are winning European Cup.
exactly.
Gavin, let me tell you one thing. For Arteta, he should look at himself in the mirror. It had to take a complete meltdown from the fan base, and some, excuse my language, some even criticize him by using words that they are not supposed to say. That he's a racist. That's why he's not trying to give our number 10 enough playing time when the season started. Eberechi Eze. He was putting the boy constantly on the wings.
Yeah.
We all knew his profile. He plays behind the main marksman or in a two-man attack just behind him, close to him, off his shoulders. The moment the captain, Odegaard, got injured and he drifted him into that slot. See, do you know that some of the Arsenal fans believe that even if Odegaard is fit today, it will take something extraordinary for him to walk back into the team ahead of Eze. Because in most of the games prior to this Carabao Cup final defeat, Eze was Arsenal's best player, coupled with the goalkeeper, David Raya.
Why is he on the bench?
In terms of the attack, ask Mikel Arteta. He's the only one that can explain this to any. See, sometimes there are certain players.
I think that decision was more sentimental than sports.
Exactly. Yes.
And then was no guard on someone.
Yes. Because Kepa had been keeping the post in the Carabao Cup. It's understandable.
Yes.
But the point is that if it had been consistent, there is a streak. But there's been a break. The last time Arsenal qualified for the Carabao Cup final, it's been some weeks, like more than 4 weeks ago. So you need consistency in a game like this. It's a one-off
Against City.
Yes, you get the point. And you are playing the second best team in England. Because Arsenal are top of the Premier League. And by virtue of the table positioning, Man City is second. So if we are to assume that, then it means City are the second best team.
And especially when you have a game against
Exactly.
them.
So you play your best players, not sentimental reasons. Kepa has been in the post throughout this campaign, so it is only befitting that we reward him. So Arteta decided to sacrifice going all out for a trophy to boost their mental
and knock Manchester City off their mental pitch.
You get it.
Heading into that match.
Rather than satisfying Kepa Arrizabalaga.
You listen to Pep Guardiola in the post-match.
No, yes. Me, onto me, my manager, my sentimental.
I still think they make these mistakes to learn from them.
How long will you consistently make these mistakes? Michael, Obi Oshe born in Bukayo Saka. If it was any other coach, you'll be changing 60 minutes flat. Go off.
You know why? You know why it's taking a very long time for a Premier League team to go unbeaten throughout the season. You definitely suffer setbacks.
Yes.
Now, when you encounter these setbacks, it is your ability to respond. And Arsenal have done that very well.
They are setback.
Whenever they have faced a setback, they've actually overcome it to embark on a
This is a team that went for like 7 games. No, we
Michael, listen.
7 games.
Michael, if there is a team that has shown in previous seasons, okay, that their finishing is suspect, is poor, is so damning, is Arsenal. Under Arteta, we've led. Do you know that ever since he took over, Arteta has spent majority number of days on top of the English Premier League than any manager.
More than any other.
But he has never won the league. It tells you that his finishing has been terrible. That is how come you find Arsenal fans because you are a neutral fan. You are not an Arsenal fan. Us, we know the reason why we are panicking. And we don't want to see the things that happened in past 2, 3, 4 previous season come back again to haunt us.
Yes. Obia say Monko back to Arsene Wenger. Arsene Wenger's first 6 years, no, I did trophy into Premier League. He became the enemy of the league.
Yeah.
So if Arsene Wenger was given that important, and he gave them a new brand of football that was different, what new has Arteta given?
Nothing.
There's a set pieces. There are teams who have scored more set pieces than Arsenal.
It's unfair to Arteta. He's restored Arsenal.
Restored it.
Okay, so a major season, and Kevin,
he finished a major season with 8 in his first season.
Restoration bay.
Arsenal have always been contending.
Okay, so let
finishing 8 in the first season. Of finishing 8 in the first season. Fifth. Do you think if it was any other,
they would have fired him?
Exactly.
Let me tell you this: a major season without winning any major trophy is a failure. Based on this, Arteta has been a failure to Arsenal for the past 6 seasons. And if you look at the kind of investment, Arteta, let me tell you, I've always been of this opinion, and I will always stay by it. The amount of support and investment given to Arteta from the Arsenal board, if they should have given that same investment to Unai Emery, Arsenal would have been English Premier League champions at least twice by now.
I disagree.
Look, he left Arsenal, went to Villarreal, won them a cup, came back, picked Aston Villa in the bottom 3 from Steven Gerrard, put them in the Champions League, put them in the Europa League. That is proper show working. Okay? You can't spend in excess of 1 billion. Any of the coaches that have spent this money, Guardiola spent it, deliver the trophies. Jurgen Klopp, deliver the trophy. What?
No.
Chelsea,
you see,
what is Arteta doing as Arsenal manager?
Even in that window,
I like it when they veg.
Arteta Sika, fancy. Arteta Sika. Yes, I was saying. Even with that, it's quite understandable. 1 billion over. Say we did 5 seasons, over 10 windows.
Why are you?
Into 10 windows, no. Ube to me calculate. I won't say almost like 50 on the average, 50 every window, which is normal for a club like Arsenal. I was saying now we're doing in purpose also or better big players. Now the point is players being at all time. What left back sa no ato Zinchenko, no ato we, no ato Hinkapie, no Calafiori, Mas Lewis Kelly, Bonadie. Just say every now and then auto defenders.
Who can say the Akai striker front?
And
he's brought on,
but his team is not playing to the strength of the striker.
And the midfield, yeah. Debbie say white privilege. This is not to sound racist, but Thomas Party, me, only Bob Bossins will be Mendy times 2. Everyone will admit it.
In terms of progression, in terms of progressing
last
the ball
season,
up
all
front,
your
I
Arsenal
accept that.
games against Manchester City, against Real, the big games, Thomas Partey will not shy away from coming to help build up play. Enra, Busaho, why never? Phase 1 build up play, and you see a build up from defense for a goalkeeper who is not comfortable with his feet. Not players at. And Thierry Henry Casemiro, I think that in interview, if you are playing with other players, you play to make them better. What I say, on try and say what they do the ball, play to make them better so that the whole team thrives. But so who will be men the water the clarice more 40. But look at Gabriel on a day like this, cushion of Mokra way much more comfortable. Obey who football on his hand. So where is that coming from? Where is that mentality coming from?
It's the coach.
It's the coach who is building the team, who is buying the players, who is setting up the team. See, it is a coach. Yes, I know we are. You think I should entrust faith in him? I should understand that this is the coach who is going to deliver.
If we as pundits or journalists, we listen to sound bites of ex-players. Thierry, I listened to him in one of his interviews. He said when he was playing for Arsenal, he was always constantly fighting with Pires and Lundberg. Because sometimes he makes certain runs and he expects certain passes.
They hold on to the ball.
He doesn't get it. They hold on to the ball. He keeps shouting, yelling in the dressing room, on training ground. Then one day he went home, he sat down, looked at clips, and realized that some of the passes he anticipates, those players don't have the technical ability to spot him and play those passes. What can he do? He had to go to them and tell them, see, if you hold the ball, you see me in this direction, play the ball this way. So in between them, he personally took it upon himself to come and then talk to his teammate. One player that he has never spoken with in terms of how you play passes to him is Dennis Bergkamp, the Dutch guy. Yeah. He said he had everything. You can't tell him anything. He sees you, he knows when to give you long pass, defense splitting pass, he glides short passes. But for Lundberg and Pires, he had to go to them to talk to them. Look, Arsenal waits about 15 minutes in every game, just with Bukayo Saka or Nodi Madueke holding on to balls. No, if you look at Arsenal, tell me I'm lying. And it's not productive when you do. See, for our striker, Gyökeres, to even rack up the number of goals he has overachieved this season. Yeah. Because the kind of services that the man deserves, he doesn't get them. Over elaboration, complete waste of time. It doesn't work out for the striker because the striker feeds on spaces.
I saw you making progressive runs past boss number.
So can I ask this question, Blanket? Do you think any other manager will do better with this Arsenal squad?
Absolutely.
This set of players.
I will even go for Sankofa.
Enrique.
Who?
Unai Emery.
With this Arsenal squad. He will do better.
Unai Emery was with Arsenal. When he said he wants to go first, Arsenal will buy him.
I think minus Arteta, these Arsenal players can only give you good performances.
Why do you think they will give
You spoke about Gabriel panicking. Yes. It wasn't just the first game. Watch the first leg against Bayer Leverkusen. Gabriel versus Christian Kofan.
Yes.
He was out of his place. So out of order. Like a fish out of water. Yeah. Now, he repeats it in the second leg and then does the same against Manchester City. Yeah. Do you think it's still Arteta?
It's him.
I don't think Arteta.
It's him. Who failed him? Who failed him?
Saka.
Yes.
Performance this season.
And I make him. So player no Onyadi are changing on. Pep Guardiola actually he's become the peak or the standard. The players be
he invested in excess of 50 million on Noni Madueke.
Yeah.
Who replaces who?
Who replaces Saka?
Noni Madueke is there to replace him.
Now again, is Madueke any better than Saka?
It's all about consistency.
Better than Saka. But on days when the regulars are failing to perform, what do? You need someone.
Exactly. And he comes in.
Exactly.
And there's no guarantee he can give you better.
Could you tell me that you saw signs Nuri will be on the bench for O'Reilly to play left back?
No.
I didn't tell Pep Guardiola because he knew that player was going to give him something better. Kevin De Bruyne and Pep Guardiola could so many times on touchline. I thought they were changing. I thought that would be and so on. I didn't because but I want you to do this for me. No, and it is one thing I love. It is one thing I love about Didier Deschamps. Regardless who you are, did you see the World Cup final? Or say Antoine Griezmann, born who schedule the catch it. Film, real quick.
Even for Giroud off.
Film. But for that is those are the calls. Those are the calls you want to see from your manager.
But for Arteta, you won't challenge for the title.
We saw a certain Alex Ferguson.
So you think Enrique Enya Arsenal team.
Enrique
Look at the
cannot work
materials.
with this same player.
Why
No,
can't he work with
listen.
these
Sometimes.
Or the Barra Domini, you move on. No, Proverb.
Sometimes we saw Las Vegas.
Arsenal for like
No, but surely now more.
Why can I show Pulimulex?
They are in pain.
Thank you.
Still live on the still live on the Sporty Drive Show, Holidays edition, still live on Sporty 106.1 FM. Yes.
Can say Mr. Bastian send a message. I would have make Arteta maybe he's dating or the gas mother and second sister. So when they are off, like he will play them 900 million pounds in 5 years. Yet Homo World Cup, he can't even win. Homo World Cup, crowd in the
The boss man finished the show.
Arsenal fans, let's also best friend.
What kind of press conference? No, because he said Arteta about what you want trophy. No, I've won 3.
Community show.
I was watching me. So, my mention messages in the Kakadian real quick. We come back to in short break now. Your room with you now. Question on here is to say, young building and national team and Black Stars team around Semenyo. Going into the World Cup, a big question here. But I'll say good evening, Francie. I think Christian Kivu should leave in Tamerlan because he will bottle the league. I think I don't know it. Solomon Apre, Eddie Fryon City. Ngleshi Amanfro, and what Dubai. Well, good evening, Francie. I'm Elom Chris from Abri. Liam Rosinio says I should extend his greetings to you.
As I would.
Be anyone Genesis. Okay, good evening, Francie. You left us unexpectedly. I'll always miss your jokes in your presentation. I think I read this one in the last batch of messages. So yeah, I'm saying be on my inquiry now. Okay, Johnny say I'm meet me a fancy now. Year one after the other, bear 2 or 3 bina. Yem breath here. Okay, well, good evening. Elom Diana, so we've done justice to it. Okay, and say yem break quick break now. Yes, switch a crab. Yeah, Baba Cabana Babish feeding, but still, WhatsApp line here 0542 571061 0542 571061. Baby, I will be out of message banner or the geographical location the account at the Amaya real quick. Yeah, Babish fee. Your Digdays edition live on 106.1 FM, 102.5 FM in Takrad and also on 191.3 inside Kumasi. Live on X, Sporty FM Ghana, live on Facebook, Sporty FM Ghana, Charlie. Massive love. Explain, you go explain tire. No evidence. Oh, real quick, you man, I feel, I'm we are black or Casa Sama. I
won't tell us that this thing pain me. You don't tell us that now is not an elite club. No. This is the biggest punchline I've ever taken in the studio.
No. What makes us an elite club?
Until you lay hands on the UEFA Champions League.
The Francis Di Maria to tell we say we go explain tire.
Tell me one elite club that went 20 years without winning a league title
22
or
years.
winning in Europe. Only 20 years.
Okay.
Just give me one.
Well, Mike, my starting phone, my if you
this one, 20. You are no longer a top club. You know that you have to understand. You have to build yourself to a certain level.
So it brings me back to my question. I'm the can be say ofie. I didn't be saying now say you building a national team now around and twice semenyo because I woke up here you could them say so fajitum so no na okita. So this I'll say should a Black Stars attack be built around Antoine Semenyo? No, a big question. Me feel see a we now time money about share. About wrap up the GP on Mike. Mommy starting through.
Fancy interesting. We are talking about performance of Antoine Semenyo at 3 different teams or in 3 different teams.
Okay.
Bournemouth, Man City, and then the Black Stars. Now, in the other 2 environments, he was accustomed to their style of play. And then the managers prioritized his strengths. It brought the best out of him. And he also tapped into the strengths of his other colleagues. Then it brought the best out of them as well. So it is about familiarity, 1. How settled he was, 2. And then the output, 3. But I think the fundamental aspect of everything will border on who was the technical head, who was in charge. At Bournemouth, Andoni Raiola plays high energy sapping game, almost pressing. They are always on the front foot. In fact, Bournemouth are one of the teams that are almost high press power.
True.
They are always pushing forward. So what it means is that they are forcing opponents into errors in the opponent's own half. So by the time they win possession, or opponent never concede possession, it positions Bournemouth in a very advantageous position where the moment they get the ball, they are closer to the opponent's goal area than Bournemouth normal goal area. So when this happens, it means Bournemouth have spaces to run into. They don't have to cover a lot of distance in terms of progressing the ball, and then they go very direct. These 3 aspects will bring the best out of Semenyo, because our opponent in the goal area, our space to run into, which is something that Semenyo needs. Direct play. This is something he thrives on. Man City, Pep has been doing things a bit differently this season. If we've observed, this time around, they are more direct in their play than being more passing oriented.
On the go.
Exactly. So City don't spend much time on the ball, especially at the turn of the year. You better at 2026. They've gone very direct, and he strived on that. Checking a one-time passing, balls that they will have to make direct runs. They are actually profiting for it. So I remember conversation bizarre. Then people were like, I said Pep assistant in Sano. Is it Colo to remove influence and answer thing? And the whole conversation looks like he wants to make City a multi-dynamic team. So they can go the typical Pep way, which is to just put passes together or pull passes together and try to outwork the opponent, tire them out, or just make them totally exposed by way of passing, or go direct. So they are like 2-pronged in terms of the approach. Now in this, it has brought the best out of Semenyo. So it is not the same environment and the same approach, but very similar. So he's striving in these 2 environments this season. He thrived at Bournemouth. He's striving at Manchester City. So that explains his form. Now, the 3rd environment is the Black Stars. Different set of players, different approach, different ideology.
Experienced coach.
You can add that too. Yeah, you can add that because I don't think Otuado has had the benefit of working consistently like Andoni Raiola has had at Bournemouth, like Pep Guardiola has had with Manchester City. He came for his first spell, he left, and then he's just come. I don't think he's even lasted 3 years in his second spell. So Onyas Adieno. And that also speaks to experience. Again, in previous jobs, he would have picked up certain scenarios that would be similar to the situations he faces currently in the team. Now he can tap into that experience from those previous scenarios, and then he will import some 1 or 2 ideas into the current situation he finds himself in and improve things. So Felix is spot on when he speaks to experience. Now, what is the case? If you place Semenyo in this Black Stars team, we cannot give him what he gets from Man City and then Bournemouth. One,
why?
The technical side. Otuado's thinking and approach to the game are very different to that of Pep Guardiola, and Andoni Raiola. Very different.
When he's our best player by far by now.
No, best player is contest.
Okay. In attack.
The contest is Semenyo is scoring a lot of goals, so he's on form. Is he our best player? I think it is something that you can contend with. We can have a very healthy argument about it. As it stands now, he's Ghana's informed player. Does it really translate automatically into the best player for the Black Stars? Being on form at club level does not automatically make him the best player in the team. They are two different things. So I think the environment he will find himself in at the Black Stars will mean that he cannot import his form and everything he's doing right at club level into the national team setup, the technical team and the playing body. He will not play with players who understand him well. He will not play with players who will bring the best out of him. The Black Stars have grown accustomed to a certain pattern of play. As it stands now, tell me who is the best player in the team. Can we name him? We don't. We don't have a best player. We have players who will spring up in games and deliver for us. Momentary. Consistently, there has not been one player who has showed up and then grabbed the bull by the horn and proved that he's our go-to guy. Maybe you can excuse Jordan and say he was our best player during the World Cup qualification phase. But in between, there was the AFCON qualifiers, and the same Jordan was nowhere to be found. So for consistent periods, the Black Stars have had players who have showed up. They have delivered in momentary periods. But for consistency's sake, we don't have a best player. It comes as and when. Do we build the team around Semenyo? No. He's part of the whole situation I'm describing to you. Throughout the period he's been on form, he's been part of this same Black Stars setup.
And what of the attack?
Oh, I don't think he's the best attacker we have. He's the most informed attacker. Antoine Semenyo is not the best attacker we have. Let the Black Stars assemble. Let them play. You will see. He's not our best attacker. In the grand scheme of affairs, tell me one significant game or input Semenyo has made since he done the Black Stars jersey. Maybe we would have to go back to the time of Chris Hughton. There was a game he came on, and then he came to change the game. I think it's either against Angola or any other team, Madagascar, one of them. That aside, Semenyo has been here and there. He's contributed his bit, but he has never cemented his status as the best player in the team. So I don't want us to be carried away with his form at club level. If we have this conversation now, we might end up having eggs in our faces. He can't be the fulcrum of our attack. He can be a part of our attack. But I don't agree to anyone who says that we should build the Black Stars attack on Antoine Semenyo because he's scoring goals at Bournemouth and Manchester City. Definitely not.
It's even missed a lot of chances for the Black Stars than can say most of the players. Missed a lot. I quite remember, I think even the game against Comoros, the game that we lost, he could have opened the score, scored the first goal for Ghana in that away game. And I totally agree with everything Michael has said. You have an inexperienced coach. See, national team football is totally different from club football. We all agree. No, coach no. Oh, coach no.
Onya they said the susu na na say because obinto me fa team World Cup qualifiers in 2022. Enko World Cup and twaso coach assistant at Dortmund, and coach Black Stars, and more qualifiers, and League AFCON qualifiers, and qualify for World Cup. Now still we are tagging him as inexperienced. Then how many games or how many years does he want before he gets to that experience level?
Kevin.
What I say?
Kevin. First of all,
and why assistant?
Kevin. First of all,
major
first of all, the Black Stars of Ghana. If you don't talk about category, it's a category A team, national team on the continent.
In India.
And any national association or serious or handle category A national team should bring in a category A coach. But Usukasem so because senya Usukasem ne so ana se bia motive bia mu wanka mo am criteria mo di buy say mo di call appoint coach no after Chris Hughton failure Ivory Coast no you threw that out of the window. And me ba
na onya de sa na enye se oye in
Chris Otuado buy has he managed more than 35 games as a national team coach?
No, that be.
Also, Jiso drew that.
No, I'm just saying. I'm just even saying that.
Yeah, be on drew.
So inexperienced new and on Sheldon drew here. I honestly don't feel. I see. Me say Otuado never can cry. He should have been an assistant to one of the elite coaches on the continent.
Like
and builds up his CV. You understand? Builds up his Black Stars going to the World Cup. Me, I don't have belief in the national team because of the old DNO. And I'll be very surprised. Say Otuado Becca said, because now Antoine is currently the best performing Ghanaian player in Europe, and I'm building the team around him. They are exceptional players. And I think, say, what we need to do is, for players our Obuba national team, first of all, look at the individual qualities of the players. And then put them together. First of all, form a core or a spine of the team. Osha Obiti say, I think, say, I always say this. 10 years, 15 years ago, we all could sit here and mention the starting 11 of the national team.
True.
Because there's been consistency in the selection of our players. And Zamika said, even going to the World Cup now, if you are calling 5 additional players to your team, I don't see the essence. Players all know World Cup. They should be the players playing in these friendly matches, especially when you are a national team that did not play at the AFCON. AFCON and say, oh, some of the AFCON
is competitive and
yes,
prepare.
Thank you. You understand, Kevin? We first of all need to build the spine of our team before we talk about even building a team around individual players. For the individual players, let's use what they are good at. And to me saying, if Ghana gets an attacking throw at a World Cup, I expect Antoine Semenyo to go and throw that ball. Yes. Because Antoine, Ojana box, on to me, had the ball. But Antoine is very good throwing the ball.
Throws.
We've seen it at City. We've seen it at Bournemouth. You understand? And as I say, how people are weaponizing throw-ins.
Mike can say it all boils down to the technical team.
Yeah, so as a technical coach, as a technical team, look at the individual qualities of the players and then form a unit.
So, fellas, not to cut you, Mike rightly said that Semenyo isn't our best player, nor our best attacker, but he's the most informed.
Yes.
So what do we do,
Chief? So that's when you call players to the national team, because as a head coach of your national team, you don't have the luxury of working with the players for a very long period of time. When they come in, don't try to change a lot of things about them. Try and play to their strength. And to say system now, Antoine, producing results, Ama Pep, any Bournemouth, no. Get them a similar situation in your national team. When Inaki Williams comes from Athletic Bilbao, now Ubebono as a typical out and out number 9 of Black Stars. Enye Juma. Ubebo Antoine Semenyo as number 9 of Black Stars. Enfa. You understand? the previous success that we've had in our national team, no, hardly do we change for the players. John Penta was playing as a right back for Fulham.
You play right back in the Black Stars.
The only utility player we had back then was Michael Essien. Or no, I bet the only thing he couldn't do was be imposed. I bet him about 10, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8. You understand?
Depending on his mood.
Depending on his mood. Depending on his mood. Yes. And the players, there are some players that have the quality. And I can say somebody like Thomas Partey, he'll be fit for the World Cup. And whichever legal issues is going through.
He's our best player.
Partey can basically play across the back four, play anywhere in midfield.
Yes. Felix, you see, the moment I watch Partey partnered Kwesi Sibo in central midfield, I said in the podcast that we did, you know, Sporty FM after the games, we do podcast in the studio. I said, leave these two guys. Worry not about their club form.
This is Sporty FM.
They've complemented each other very well at the heart of the midfield. Kwesi Sibo, he knows how to partner Thomas Partey. He knows the strength of Partey. Partey knows his strength. Yeah. And we've been struggling in the qualifiers, but the moment the two of them partnered each other, they gave us stability. They gave us a platform on which the other players can play their normal game. And one thing about Partey, for the Black Stars, he has shown that he doesn't want to be overloaded with defensive duties. Yeah. With Sibo gives him that freedom
to do that,
to search forward, to play his long short pass, link up, and then come up with bangers on top of the box.
Totally agree with you on that.
You get this. I was at AFCON in 2023 in Côte d'Ivoire. Chris Hughton sometimes allow Inaki to play from the wings. We all know that the strength of Inaki is to take off at the blind side of defenders. Then he wants you to link up a quality ball into the channel for him. He moves, Baba Idrisu steps on the ball, look at his movement, and then turns back and gives back. I was like, God, what is... See, in our second game, against Egypt, at the start,
there were players who could do that job, but they were not even being put on the bench.
See, at the start, Felix I see. Since that day, you see, I said I'm never going to criticize Inaki Williams ever again because I've seen things he has done. You see, sometimes when you are watching the game on TV, when you are watching the game on TV, a lot happens off the ball that the cameras don't capture. Yeah. But when you are watching the game live in the stadium, sometimes they take off from the wingers and they are looking out for decent passes into that. They are starved. They don't get it. Antoine Semenyo, I've always said this.
Franz, let me just quickly finish, then you come in. So all I'm saying is, we can't build our team on individual players. First of all, out of our 11 starting 11, we should try as much as possible and get a spine for the team.
Yeah.
So out of the 11 players, at least 6, 7 should constantly be starting. And the crucial areas. Now, I am very happy that the technical team, together with the goalkeepers coach, have decided that Benjamin Asari is number 1. We are sticking with that. Now, ask yourself, one of the most important departments, defensive, central defense, do we have a defensive partnership?
And can that spine be built with these few months to go?
You see, that is, and that is why, that is something, you see, that is something that we failed to do.
Yeah.
Apart from Juku.
And Salisu.
You see, and Juku improves everybody that plays beside him. But Adebakwa Ambwa Juku say everybody that comes partner with him has not been consistent. Maybe a form need DP and an injury.
Simple. They don't play at his level.
You know, sometimes level
injury, yeah.
Salisu ni bebo then Martin ni boy and Martin has faded.
Yeah.
So our central defense a issue. Our previous success as a national team coach, you know, Vosa will always be there with John Mensah.
Yeah.
Olele would always be there in post.
Yeah.
If you come to the midfield, how many midfielders
have we rotated?
Have come in and play with Partey? Partey is more like the brain.
Yeah.
But who has been the brawn beside Partey? You used to Elisha Usu, you used to Salis. They say one time
Baba
Idrisu from Mayoka time.
Yeah.
You say you used to
Kwesi Sibo.
So we are not building the spine. You understand? We are not building the spine.
Yeah.
But back then, Essien would always be there with Muntari or Lai Kingston or Stephen Appiah. When Kevin Prince Boateng came to improve our team, Kevin comes in attack. And Kevin say, "Oh, a constant goalkeeper." On him say, "We are number one. You have 2 constant central defenders." Me, I'm not even worried about the laterals because sometimes you can even decide you are playing. You understand? Because to 2 and 3 they expect me to change anytime.
Yeah.
But defense, our central defense, no. Every solid team, you need a defensive partnership.
Defensive win to titles.
You need a solid goalkeeper, and then your engine of the team.
Yeah.
Is very important. As for attack, you can rotate. And I don't think, say, Ghana, the only thing we lack a typical number 9. And it is something that we've been struggling since Tony Yeboah time as a majam koyo ba you know. But as for wingers, we can even there are some of the wingers we can even put them into a 3-back system. So I'm not even worried about that. But the spine, from goalkeeper defend midfield, no, and no, they have major problems. So let's find a constant 6-7 players. They bet to me, and if you can't even mention the starting 11 of the Blasters, those 7 players you know very well are starting. Then maybe up front, if you want to go with Fatah Isaaku and Antoine Semenyo or Jordan Ayew, you can rotate. Yeah. You understand? Then you look at the individual qualities of the team. On him say, oh, a bunch of set pieces. I know Juku will be very good when it comes to set pieces. I know Antoine Semenyo bet to me. I had the actual ball no man advantage because at the World Cup, a lot of the teams would use the set pieces.
Yeah.
Free kicks. When was the last time Ghana scored from a free kick?
Oh, now send it to me. Corner kicks, man.
Corner kicks, because somebody set pieces free.
Okay.
You understand?
So Felix, not to cut you, but mommy activating me 4 lines in answer. So the 4 lines will be active in about a minute. And Tiana Sibia wherever you are, or Peso Basubiano. Lines in be active 0542 5710 61 0542 5710 61 and 0302 794805 0302 794805. You can call now the contribution and so okay.
All I want us to do is your friendly matches are Airbano. Otuado should start putting consistent 11 now. And now majority of the players on him so you a World Cup. They should be starting our friendly matches. Because I've had issues with Ghana when it comes to friendlies. Okay. Our players seems not to respect friendly matches.
First caller number. Hello, caller.
Hello. Good evening. Fancy.
Yes, so Penny, we didn't be a free.
A casa free la Vivian farm, your friend Eric.
Ericus, it's you.
Yeah, me mama kwabana. Fancy, only we buy money. Inka dokunu be di there.
Dabio, you buy rice na.
Ah, mundi dokunu pam to anye kumase. Inti mundi dokunu imbre why? Mama dokunu ne chinambi na mfa settle answer.
Yeah, so afeni e beti chrome.
Yo, ya mama kwaba so.
Yeah, so it's you.
Fancy pacho to abe su mame. Akoko osache akoma kra.
Enye fair.
Me da say. Oh, for Blackgate and Kelvin, the Arteta be bi omo enye omo fe o. The Arteta be bi enye omo fe. Enti some ka say at one the Blackgate ka say on pesa Arteta be with the 3 remaining trophies. That's the FA Cup, Premier League, and Champions League. On pesa Arteta be winning only the FA Cup. But this is the Carabao Cup no lose. Among these 4 trophies, Carabao Cup is the least. So, enti no make say the conversation come be anya no fe no ebi no Arteta obi anka se onye bi fine. This is the keeper ordinary tomb from day one of the competition, and he decided to say okay, it should be imposed. Unfortunately, he caused a blunder and a break it even. And I tell fault. Ono de odwa to research and why mistake. Baukas Arteta and na see
Kevin Sinko Busa real question be.
Minia.
Okay.
Na
Kevin.
Na akoko no Saturday Giovanni ebe ofe.
Giovanni there. Eti mama enya botre ni bisa o se Arteta win Carabao Cup na nyame prem unu sensi no want to win Premier League now Kelvin ebe o dana
me dey o kra onko onye
Arteta there me say this on one kind of as of Wenger this on one assassin I'm telling you see yeah and you say obi nka Arteta ye super coach and I say ye hunu so that but eduma Arteta be o Arsenal no Guardiola ontimi yeah Guardiola is the coach when he faces any adversity, the slightest one he faces, he opens the checkbook. Look at last season, he took only Rodri and an injury to Rodri. He went into the January transfer market to spend 250 million plus in one January window. Yeah, even this season, immediately Gabriel went off and then Diaz got that hamstring injury. Magay, come. Okay, Sevino is injured. Okay, bring me Semenyo. Arteta did not get that luxury. As we stand, Arteta does not have that luxury. That 850 million a day, biamu. And one season, for 6 seasons, Arteta in his first season, he had only 50 million pounds to spend. And that 50 million pounds, he triggered Thomas Partey's release clause of 45 million pounds. And then we will be 25 million pounds out of player Papa Bay.
Nah.
I think Guardiola no or your textbook manager or fine or tactics. Say and keep me. I'm part of the people say me believe Sanka and keep shouldn't have started the second half. But on also this season he made a mistake in the Manchester United game when I think two of our players, Calafiori had an early yellow card. Obayano about 4 changes. Mokai, Mokai game no. Why your 4 changes? Why is our 4 changes? You know what happened? We went on to lose. This same Arteta was lambasted by Kelvin and the Blackgates. So Aden Arteta made a rash decision by making those changes. This time around, he just wanted to sit down and study the game. I'm telling you, if Kepa had saved that ball or had not committed that blunder, there was no way City would have beaten us. This defeat, we've lost. But I don't care. I'm not bothered.
Okay.
I'm looking forward to the Premier League, and that is our goal. Kelvin, more relaxing. Arteta. We know that two people have your stance when it comes to Arteta. But now it's not the point here. Let's focus and get the job done. Okay. Me, I'm happy we lost this, and then we are going to win the Premier League. But if you have won this and then lost the Premier League, I can't even get back.
Okay, what I say.
Arteta is the man. Guardiola, who the fuck Guardiola brought England? I Arsenal with the same conditions. What do you mean, because Guardiola no textbook manager. BBC player. BBC
player. You can pick up the experts now, no. So Emraso. Hello, caller. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Good evening.
Good evening, Francis. The family is from the first for you.
Otun for it, you from Coftown.
Yeah. So, one of your panelists was saying something. He was alluding to the fact that he was at the stadium and he saw players, making good runs without receiving the ball. Right? You see, as a young man that grew up in the footballing community like Medina, I have seen a couple of footballers, very fine footballers. But you see, you can't tell me that as an attacker, you're on the ball and your teammate is making a run. That time now, I don't know if I'm making sense to you. Like as an attacker, yeah, like the team is progressing. Time I will strike a good run, and I win a good run. All that person needs is just a good pass and what they see good chance of money for it. Then you see some fans, they will be clapping and then be touting Jordan Ayew as the most foul player.
Nah. Felix is saying me as a player, Ben, how can I say no?
Jordan Ayew as a meeting. Jordan Ayew as a meeting.
Bro.
Hello?
Bro.
Yeah, hello.
Without this is Blackgate. You and I, can we just come to a consensus that Jordan Ayew finally is delivering for the Black Stars? Why? He's the reason why we are the... Can you and I come to a consensus that Jordan Ayew is finally delivering for the Black Stars and he's the reason why we are going to the World Cup?
In which tournament are you even talking about?
I'm talking about the FIFA World Cup qualifiers.
FIFA World Cup qualifiers. Playing against which teams?
He's gonna stop. Football is a current form game. Okay, let's get this. Football is a current form game. Okay.
We are talking about we being in a competitive game. We being in a highly competitive game. I winning teams are winning some high profile level. That time now you know one thing I have observed about Jordan Ayew is that he has those vision and everything. I remember Jordan Ayew at Crystal Palace. As a Chelsea fan, Chelsea was a match against Chelsea and Crystal Palace. Jordan Ayew from on the right wing, just about 10 meters from the center line. Jordan Ayew could score an Austin Edwards run, and all Austin Edwards needed was just a touch, and the ball was at the back of the net.
I remember.
I am telling you, you see, sometimes when we talk when we are watching football, people make it like look like. I think we are trying to pick it on one player or then pick on one player and then or we don't see me personally. I have zero hate for any footballer. The only footballer I hate is the player that wants to help the other player because at the end of the day, I want to trophy. You understand? So Black Stars, I am telling you people now. It is Jordan Ayew after seeing about the captain band, he is now coming to the party. We are waiting to see them World Cup with We are expecting him to deliver. If he delivers, I have no problem with any Black Star player. If he delivers, I'll clap for him. If he fails to deliver, we will pass them. But Fancy, I've never listened to you before. Today's my first time, and I think you are doing a very good job. And Sporty FM,
many thanks for the compliment with RCP so pass from Coftown. Yeah, I see him for the next person I feel and share real quick now. I am ready. Okay. Oh, last caller, I'm okay. Whoa. Hello, caller.
Yes, I'm boss.
Or Penny, we didn't have a say, let's hear you.
Yes, sir. I want to Fabra.
Also, can you please lower the volume on your radio set?
Okay, thank you.
All right, let's hear you.
Analysis now, very good for. That is analysis never Akasai the 5 Black Stars home, a far coach, it's very, very, very important for as a Ghana coach, who individual players, they are Obiani and Ahodio, who are very old Kaka and true, or yeah, dear, who are a fast Bonnie and or yeah, it's not known here for you. Then you not count in my place, it is so who's had the answer, Mukayana, and that's what my team, Akosi, Minia, Bedasi.
All right, by wrap up and I sorry we have 5 more minutes now. You make your way for your next show. So you wrap up.
Yeah, so me personally, what I've always said this, we've seen the core of the team in the World Cup, especially in the last 5 games, where we were at the business end of the competition. We've seen certain players stepped up. Jiku stepped up, Benjamin Asari stepped in and became the mainstay in goal post. So there's no need to tinker with it. Let's go with the tried and tested. Kwesi Sibo and Thomas Partey has proven that they can do the job. Let's encourage them. Sometimes there are certain players at club level, they will not be playing better. But when they come to the national team, they are the best players in the team. Typical example, Richard Kinson. In the latter part of his distance, even prior to the 2010 World Cup, he wasn't playing any competitive football. But whenever, that was the reason why people tried to retire him very early. The thing is, a player like Sibo, currently, he's not getting the distance. But whenever he steps and partners Thomas Partey at the heart of our midfield, he has brought something to us. To me, the issue about building a team around one player, if there is any player in the Black Stars currently that I can stick my neck out and encourage the technical handlers of the team to build the team again around should not be Antoine Semenyo. It should be Jordan Ayew, the captain of the team.
Okay.
The last time we've seen what Jordan has done for the Black Stars actually was when we had Asamoah Gyan leading the Black Stars as the top marksman. He gave us identity. He gave us something that we can always expect him that he will score in the games. And goals win you matches. That's the most important thing. So for me, Jordan should be someone we should look up to. We should encourage him. Because the moment he became the captain of the Black Stars, his game and the numbers for the Black Stars have skyrocketed to the next level.
I think so. Manya Gary will line so per se. Our Basunti and Fire Gary real quick. What's that video now? You remember to us. So Penny said, baby, I won't go on.
But analysis needs now. Me free.
Okay.
Me free. That was say. You turn suffer or buy. And into me free.
Oh, so what can you? Oh, can you say into me in Canada? So now say be any baby. I know also many thanks for your time. The opportunity no be answer the mouse. Kwenya ne say o. Ebi am be ma pona to nti bra. Ti me dase.
Nkomo ye di ya che, but nyame mbre ne mre pa nti no. E den na nyame ayen ho kwan say obetumi abesra ayen wa kra na ye ni so pa nti no. Yeah, that's him. Now, make up Jordan, you are same name. Some of you are same day to me, but I just wanted to take a few minutes to thank you, for coming. Thank you so much for making and bringing the bus to our station. And you are always welcome. You to me, there's no way we see.
I cross a mic. I don't remember. Nathan rap on and say shut up bedtime now. You banner for your best sales so now you baby.
And also you be two one more pass. I fight. Rap battle. There was a battle. Aye. Was a battle. But
Mike is so or question maybe so answer request to be now. Also be ba say akokɔ sacha akoma kra enye ne fainting ka ubu ba ku bia ma
okay enra say yeko game no
yeah
na I mean me metimi aka ne me hu here from Arsenal fans sabio yeah Arsenal fans na yet Ghana ne other places no we live far away from the team, those who go to the stadium every week no what I saw is what I'm going to say now. They are not more Arsenal fans than myself and Blackgate and Kelvin.
Yes.
But what I saw was not, and it was surprising, it was not an atmosphere of, say, amwa bemwe bu gidi gidi basa basa, like to the nonsense degree, sir. I felt, sir, they were disappointed that the fact, sir, before the game, most of them, or most of us felt we had a real chance of winning our first title and it was up for grabs. We couldn't do it. I know the disappointment was there. I think, sir, we were very disappointed with the fact, sir, and yes, sir, you lose it 2-0. People lose games all the time.
Yes.
I think it is how we lost is what really annoyed people and really was upsetting to people. And that I can't anopay say your program no total English football. So Bekaya 92nd minute, about 10 minutes before on the ball final whistle, referee about ball final whistle no. Sitting your ball be a ball no eba area ho. Haaland was on the ball. He was fighting for the ball as if it was the 29th minute.
Yes.
While our players were behaving not like a team that we were
down
looking
by
for
2 goals.
It was the City players who wanted it more. And I think, Senrano, that summed up the whole mentality and the fact, say, if Arteta has not learned anything in 6 years, it is this. Check, Bolodier, Utumibo, round of 16, 1-8, quarter-final, semi-final. You drew final, and you one off, one touch. You do what you have to do to win. No be him. No be him. If he has not learned anything, FA Cup ever. So maybe we idea or the best idea. Ebaya disfia ama ono any the players in na say. Share any league near Bono. Udru final any league no. Ubono once. Now go with him, wafa or crew and now go with him. So for me, I thought people were not too disappointed, and people also felt that we have 3 other competitions in which to do better. I'm just hoping, say, unlike Liverpool, was it 2 seasons or 3 seasons? They lost 4 trophies in the space of 10 days, or was it 3 seasons ago, or something? Yes. almost quadruple within 10 days. Not any triple, not any double. Then they won only the Carabao Cup in that season. I'm hoping, say, we don't have that kind of season, because if that happens, it
will be bloody, eh? Boss, this Blackgate, it will be bloody.
Yeah, bro.
This is the voice of sport.
So, guys, please let me leave you. I just wanted to say before you close the show, thank you so much, and hopefully we can do more together again. Fancy.
All right. Yes, that's a fan. I see the baby. Okay, so Gary Najanedia, but I'm saying Mike, Benny and Yamaso and see Benanyamaso. Okay, so then we call it a wrap. And one on
Mr. Menchama, operations manager, one of our Managerial Bank operations manager, Kojo Usuoche, Okeleji, Kojo Okeleji, first not kind of honey, yes, boss. First not the age, my love FM, those times, yeah, Kojo, such a Liverpool fan, but I feel Koye, but to end. But our matches are now just 30 seconds. I think that Otuado was gradually finding his feet. With Nyama, also after AFCON failure, or Stateye, Oyusu, Nyama, and Kudus as double tens in
especially
one of the
game
games
against Mali.
And you could see the build up gradually coming. But unfortunately, he doesn't have the luxury of Nyama staying fit or even being ready for the World Cup. Kudus Afena Nehobetona Mawa started warming itself into game match fitness. So Sporty hasn't had enough game time like that. Even Kwesisi Bomoni Adeno. You get it. Jonas Sajete ni just so Uzbek or Koy see what Tinchen Bonu Mubi. You could look at our left back, our right back, aside the goalkeeper. No. Even attack Jordan Ayekana Semi or Tinchen. Antoine Semenyo, Inyakin so by Afena or no so Brett. Injuries na ahano. So our team has a general problem. And I make us say if you have one good coacher or Nimni or not in him or yeah. You wouldn't have a problem. And I just hope our coach will show us, say, was she idea. 2006, your players need be a prayer like and say more were out because of suspension. But when he went, Sameko formal failure crown, Elias Sune Habib Mubeshishe Muma, Hamil Dramani gave us a very good performance. 2010, we saw say your team no be mu nyini injuries near the demone ajima be demone Rabiu mono Jonathan Mensah mu beshishe mu ma a fire. That is the mark of a very good coach. So I just hope say we would have our coach getting to those levels.
Whoa, so we call it a wrap. I mean now Michael Asaribodu and Francis Blackgate and then Felix Romack now for Kevin Uswansa. I am a Panama business now for to the production team. Ivan Samewu Gaimo Teleja Kwai Champon Abeku Sam Kofi this jokey DJ Papa Wadud social media manager so yes and our technician on duty Trish so we call it a wrap. Thanks Sporty FM, thanks Accra, and of course thanks Ghana. Hopefully